Hello, everyone. We're coming to you from Mexico. We did not initially plan on making this video. We were going to do a video about Puerto Morelos, Mexico, which we still will do. However, we would be remiss if we did not post a review of the resort that we are currently at, because we do not want anyone else to go through what we've been going through the past few days or make a mistake that we did by booking here.
So we know that you can hear there's a bit of an echo. We are on our porch, on our balcony, in our room at the Ocean Coral and Turquesa Hotel, which is what this video is about, as you can see by the title. In the back, you can probably hear the breeze of the ocean, making the palm trees sway, and it seems very idyllic.
We actually booked an activity to do snorkeling and cenote play that we had to cancel or reschedule because I've literally been up all night in the bathroom. And I've been to Mexico a ton of times. I've never once had this problem. But that number one on the list that we're going to tell you about this resort is actually and be careful of it, temperature of the food, not just at the buffet, but all of the restaurants that we've experienced so far, which have not been that many, and you'll see why in a minute, but it's been, what, four different restaurants?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a certified safe food service manager, both a proctor and an instructor, and so I know a lot about it. And I've been staying away from, if I take one bite of something and I can tell that it is not at a temperature that is safe, I've not been having any other bites of it. But there's a lot of it that really narrows down at this hotel the amount of food options that you have.
Again, not just the first night we were here, we ate at a restaurant called Blue Moon, and it was not a buffet. It was entrees and apps and all that, but none of the food was hot. I mean, it was like lukewarm at best. So I don't know if that's what happened, why I'm having Montezuma's revenge, or what the problem is. But again, I've been to Mexico a lot of times. I know the rules, I pay attention, and I've been sick to the point where we had to cancel our whole plans today.
So let me talk to you about, it's not the main complaint at this hotel, believe it or not, but let me talk about, or we can talk about the problem with making a reservation for a sit-down restaurant as opposed to the buffet where the food sits there and has various temperatures. Can you explain?
Yeah, the resort has an app that you go on, which contains a lot of information that you need: the map of the resort, the hotels, the activities for the day. It also is the way that you have to reserve every single reservation you have for any meal has to be done. The birds are nice. The reservations have to be done through this app for all the restaurants. It's very glitchy. Many people have complained. We have yet to actually get a reservation that we want. We had to go to the front desk today and wait in a long line and waste a lot of the time. And
actually, I had to pull a Will Smith. We'll just tell you, just to get any sort of reservation. Let me explain to you the bottom line is how it works. You cannot make you can only make a reservation for the day that you are there, and you cannot make a reservation until 8 a.m. Mm-hmm. So if you are at the breakfast buffet, you will see at 8 a.m. everybody is on their phones. And the reason is you have to set your alarm. You can't even set it for 8 a.m. because then it's too late. You have to set it for like 7:57, and you have to work your way through the app and get right to the point where you hit make a reservation to get it right at 8 a.m. to work. But what has happened to us the past 2 days, and not just us, because we've talked to other guests who have the same problem.
Yeah.
You want to tell them what's happened?
It's a glitch. It comes up and says you can't make a reservation one day out, and we weren't doing that at all. It's just, it's too.
We'll put a screenshot in the video right here. But what happens is,
what the error code was.
When you click it, it tells you can't make a reservation for the following day. But you literally can't make a reservation. For the following day. There is no button. There's no option to make it for the following day. You are clicking the reservation for that day because it's the only thing to get. to do. You cannot advance, there's no option for changing the day to make a reservation for tomorrow while you're at it. But you click the reservation for today and it gives you an error message that you can't make a reservation for any day other than today, which of course is what you're doing.
So that's the first problem.
So you wind up eating at the buffet, and the buffet is the hardest thing to control temperatures, and now she's sick, so we had to cancel our reservations. So let's talk about some of the other issues with staying at this hotel, Ocean Coral and Turquesa. And, we booked this hotel because the purpose of us being here was to film a video about Puerto Morelos, and we knew this wasn't the highest end hotel. We knew it based on the price of it, which wasn't cheap at all, but we saw that we were saving a lot of money, like $200 a day versus, for instance, the hotel next door is Dreams Jade and Dreams Sapphire are a little closer, but it's about $200 more per day. And so we figured, we're going to be spending most of our time in Puerto Morelos, so let's go ahead and reserve this.
And just for context, where we are is the Riviera Maya, so we're about 20-minute drive south, directly south of Cancun.
Yes, but it is listed on the Vacation Express website as a Puerto Morelos hotel. So this is about as close as we can get, and so we thought that this was the best option. First thing I'd like to talk about is the condition of the room. And let me just say what my overall theory is. I think in 2-3 years max, this hotel is going to be closed because it is so dilapidated. There are so many things that are broken and in terrible condition that could be replaced relatively cheaply, and they're not doing it. So I think what's happening is they're just going to let this hotel exist until it's so dilapidated, and then they're going to knock it down and build another hotel. That's my feeling based on what I've seen, but I don't want you guys to waste your money at this hotel. For instance, here's an example. The hammocks by the beach. There's about a half a dozen hammocks that you can sit on by the beach. And they are probably a $15, $20 item. And they look like they're about 10 years old. There's gigantic tears and holes in them. So it's
just a picture of that.
Very, very difficult to sit in them. And there's so many other things like the lounges at the chairs, which we're going to be getting to in a minute.
The pool.
Pool lounges that are dilapidated. But we come into our room, the lamp by my bed was broken.
Wait. We came into our room as soon as we checked in, and the first thing we did was open the glass door behind us to see if we had a view of the ocean, which we do have a small one, and that's nice. But when we opened the door, the entire handle came.
I just literally grabbed it and went to pull it, and the entire handle came off. The lamp by my bed is broke. The shower thing they needed to replace because you have to hold it the entire time. It won't stay
in the holder.
The fan is incredibly loose and seems dangerous. Maybe we'll film it. When it flips around, it's so loose, you're scared that it's going to fall on. It's also covered with dust. Basically, everything is covered with dust in this hotel room. It's really, really bad. I would describe this hotel as a pitching wedge. It looks good from about 50 yards away. And the closer you get to it, it just looks terrible. The thing that if you go online, you can look at even the Facebook group, which is fans of the hotel. They're constantly eliminating members and eliminating posts about the lounge chairs. The percentage of lounge chairs at the pool is minute compared to the number of people here. Okay, so when you read online complaints about this hotel, this will be the main crux of it. As you can see, there is nobody at the pool. This is 7:30 a.m. I could have made this video at 5:30 a.m. because if you want a chair, you have to come down at 5:30 a.m. and you need to wake up and put your towel on a chaise lounge because it is 7:30 a.m. and these have all been filled for an hour and a half. You can see there's a couple of stragglers here, but what it is people come over and they place their towels to reserve it. And the amount of lounges they have, which I don't know if you can tell on camera, you can see how this one's caving in, how dilapidated they are, is a small fraction of the amount of people. Like, look at this one. You see how broken down this is? Right? Terrible, but it's a small fraction of the amount of guests. Now, you might say to yourself, as I did when I came down here a half hour ago, oh, look, there's two that don't have towels on them. These must be free, but if you come real close here, you can see they might be new guests who don't even have towels, but they've just put in one flip-flop on each of these to reserve them. So consequently, another thing that happens is that at most resorts, you would get a towel, and at the end of the day, you would turn it in to the towel person and get your and then the next day get new towels. But nobody does this. Even if you stay here for 10 days, a couple we talked to yesterday, you use the same towel for 10 consecutive days, because if you turn in your towel, you can't get another new one until 8 a.m. Look at this. In this situation, they've tried to take one towel to reserve two lounges, but if you turn your towel in, you can't get another one till 8 a.m. Well, of course, at 8 a.m., all of the lounges have been taken, so that's impossible. And when did you have to come in to put your towel on the chaise lounge?
My father came, but
at what time?
I don't know, 5.
5 a.m. Yep, 5 a.m. This is definitely a 5 a.m. situation for sure if you want to sit on a chaise lounge. So the thing that I think will make you the angriest is the customer service. You will never, ever talk to a manager. Ever, ever, ever. We have been told that the manager wants the employees to take care of things, but the employees direct you to the managers. As a matter of fact, when we went to Nexus Tours, who run Nexus and Sunwing and Vacation Express, they're all part of the same kind of company. They told us, hey, when we told them about all the problems we were having, they told us that they would get the manager. And so one of the Nexus representatives went and talked to the manager and says, the manager is going to be calling you. They're going to do something about your room, and they're going to do something for you because of the fact that you've had so many problems. So I figured, they're going to upgrade us to premium or privilege or the adults only pool. So we went back to our hotel and literally just watched CNN for 3 hours waiting for a call from the manager, because they had both our hotel number and our cell phone number, and no call came. So finally we left to get food. They never called our cell phone. They never left a message our hotel. The manager never got back to us. Subsequent, we find out that nobody talks to the manager ever. So this morning I went to, because of the fact that the app couldn't get us a dinner reservation and we're getting sick eating at the buffet, I went to the same Sunwing representative and said, hey, the manager never got back to me, and they directed me to customer service. I went to customer service and they said, oh, you want guest services? I guess guest services is different than customer service. So they sent me to guest services. The woman was on the phone. We sat in the chairs in front of the desk, waited patiently for 10 minutes while she dealt with another complaint. And then at the end of that 10 minutes, she told us to get into a line that did not exist when we sat down there. And she said, because she doesn't do anything for the guests. And I literally pointed up and I said, that sign says guest services. And you're telling me that you don't serve the guests? Yes, we don't do anything for the guests. You need to get in that line, which now existed. So then we had to get in that line. So that's when I lost my temper at these people. It's just the customer service is horrendous, and I believe that's because they know that they are going to shut this hotel down when everything is so dilapidated they can't even pretend that something's going on. Now I'm going to tell you about the worst part of the experience. Sargasm. Not orgasm, the opposite, sargasm. This is a type of seaweed. This is along the beach. You can see it washing up in the ocean there. This is right outside Ocean Coral and Turquesa. So what I thought initially was that this is what it is like. You'll notice there is nobody swimming in the ocean here. I thought this is what it was like at other resorts until we ventured about and saw that other resorts do a much better job controlling this. But if you look at these other hotels, you can see it is not the same thing going on over there. And apparently not only does it get worse as the summer goes on, but it starts to smell worse and worse. So if you're looking forward to coming to Ocean Coral and Turquesa and chilling out on the beach, that is not going to be a thing. My beautiful wife on the pier. Puerto Morelos. Enjoying it. It smells much better here than at Ocean Coral and Turquesa. I just wanted to point out this is Puerto Morelos, and the sargassum is present everywhere, but different places do a different levels of being able to control the sargassum and maintain it. So you can see that on this beach they do a much better job of controlling it. So people actually can use the beach here.